I'm a big YouTuber.
I literally cover court cases for a living.
I'm gonna give you my ID.
I cover the court cases for a living.
Yeah, what up, y'all? Welcome to Crown TV. I am the Crown Prince, a.k.a. Mr. Anti-Goofy. You know what not to do in my comments. Shout out to the Anti-Goofy gang. We on our way to 20,000. We in the building. If you want to donate to the channel and you really gang, instead of the super chat, hit up the Cash App gang. Yeah, what up, y'all? We back again, and we back with a weekend edition. I try not to work too much on the weekends, but it's been a couple days since I last spoke to y'all, and there are actually some big updates in this case. The first one I wanted to touch on is that Mel's sentencing submission from the defense's side has become available. That became available Friday, and I haven't heard much about it from anywhere else, so I wanted to make that available to y'all. Y'all know y'all could get it at thecrownprince@gmail.com. The reason why I wanted to touch on this is because Mel penned a very powerful letter to this judge as he awaits sentencing. We know he's going to be sentenced on October 17th, and that is approaching very fast. Now, if you remember, before Shotty got sentenced, there were two sentencing submissions. One came from Shotty's side. This is the one that had all of the letters from his family and friends, etc. And then there was one from the prosecution side where they laid out everything they had against Shotty and why they felt he deserved whatever time that they recommended. So this is very much the same thing. We have the defense's side. We have Mel arguing for 6.5 years. This may be based on the pre-sentencing report from the probation department. We don't know yet until we see the prosecution side. So if the prosecution side is asking for the same 6.5 years, based on what we've seen this judge do so far, we should expect Mel to get that 6.5 years. But also in this submission is letters from Mel's family and friends, just like we saw in Shotty's case. But the difference is that Mel actually penned a letter to the judge himself. And I want to read that for y'all. And the only reason that I'm making it public in the form of a video is because there are a lot of jewels in this letter for kids that are coming up and that are infatuated and fascinated by all of this, and they don't see the end game. And not only the end game, because he also talks about what led him into this life, and then he talks about the kind of life he had while all of this was going on. And it's not all peaches and cream. It's not all fun and games. It's a very serious life. And you can tell that Mel had a chance to reflect on this all, not just from prison, but while he was actually out and in it. So without further ado, let's get to the letter. He says, "Dear Judge Engelmeyer, I hope this letter reaches you and you are in good health and spirits. As for me, I am just sitting in MDC thinking about a lot of poor choices I made in life. When I think back, my issue started when I was a young kid just trying to belong. Coming up as a kid, I did not really have a positive role model in my life." And then you can see there is a bunch of information redacted. It says, "I found myself as a very angry teenager because of the things I experienced and the things I saw at home behind closed doors. I took to the streets heavy at the age of 14. A lot of my friends suffered the same way I did or worse, so we became each other's comfort blankets. The older guys in my neighborhood that embraced us were thugs off of the corner, and they were involved in illegal activities like drugs and violence. But at least they seemed to care about our well-being, or so we thought at the time. In reality, I could see now that they were really just molding us to become young criminals because they knew we really had nobody and we were gullible young kids looking to fit in and find father figures. We looked to these guys for the love we were missing. That is when the United Blood Nation came into my life at 15 years of age. Between my anger and loyalty to the game, I made a lot of bad decisions trying not to let the gang down. By the time I was 18 going on 19 years old, my childhood sweetheart, Don Gillespie, gave birth to my beautiful daughter. That's when I realized I wanted more for myself, my child, and my heart, Don. But the streets still had a hold on me. I was at war in my own head. I wanted to fall back from the gang life and do the right thing by my family, but I felt like I was somehow being wrong to my gang family, because at that point, I really believed that they had been there for me when I had no one. What I did was try to distance myself as much as possible. I started working in the music industry. I got signed to Diplomat Records when I was 24 years old, and things were looking up for me. I found myself staying away from negativity, but I was becoming very popular, and with that life came a lot of envy, money, and women. This all caused me to lose Dawn because of my own cheating and my inability to be home because of the demands of touring and life in the industry. I found myself becoming depressed and falling back into my old ways, going back into the streets because I was not happy. I had lost my earlier life, even though now I had money and fame. I felt like something was missing. A lot of dormant anger from my childhood came back to the surface. When I tried to return to the game, they were mostly only concerned with my present reputation and what I could do for them financially, and it was at that point that I realized that their love was never genuine. They gave me a position of authority because of who I was and because of my age. During that time, in my mind, I decided that I was done with the streets, but I still tried to keep ties with some of the guys I knew from the gang. I know that was where I went wrong. My real family, I now realize, was my mother, Dawn, my aunts, and my brother. I got back together with Dawn, and she gave me a baby boy named Redacted. I realized that I have to break the cycle because I don't want my son or daughter going through what I did. I want the best for them. I know I should have woken up and realized this earlier, especially when I was shot 5 times and my loved ones almost lost me. Now I find myself caught up in this case, and this is the first time I'm in real serious trouble. But I can promise that it will be my last. I am not a part of the violence in this case, and this federal arrest has been a real wake-up call for me. I sincerely apologize for all of my actions and take full responsibility. I ask for leniency and a second chance to return to my children as soon as possible. I want to return to my family and right all my wrongs so I could be there for them. They need me, and I definitely need them. It is a must that I break this cycle. It is killing me that I am not there for my children and my loved ones. I'm completely done with the streets. I plan to change my environment as well as the company I keep. To me, right now, the most important company to keep is all of my family and my children. Please allow me to return to them as soon as possible. I don't need a whole lot of time to fix myself. I need counseling and for you to believe in me and see that I am not the monster they paint me to be. Please understand that I am human, and I ask you for a second chance. Respectfully submitted, Jamel Jones. So this is it, man. This is the end game. This is after all of the drama. This is after all of the street fame and notoriety for being the guy at the top of the food chain. This is where you end up at. After listening to these phone taps and all of the backbiting and backstabbing and talking behind each other's backs that's been going on, was it really all worth it? All of the bags are gone. Being a hot topic is gone. And this is what these dudes are left with after all of this. Being away from their kids. A lot of these dudes have multiple kids. Was it really all worth it? I just want to put that out there. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe if you are not a goofy. If you are not a goofy. If you are a goofy, you know the rules. It's the Crown Prince. I'm out, y'all.
On a Friday night at 9 o'clock, hundreds of kids who don't have to be here. You'd think this would be the last place they'd want to be. But here in Newark, they're in here because of what's out there.
Anything that keeps me off the street, I'll do. Like, besides doing anything wrong, like selling drugs and all that stuff. I'm not into that.
If I come here, I would see, like, friendly faces.
Gun violence, like, out there. They fighting, being shot.
Inside the walls of West Side High, every Friday night until 11 p.m., it's a space free of fear. Within these walls, kids can shoot pool, play video games, hit the hardwood, practice cheers, or even lay down track in a recording studio. Within these walls, they can laugh. It's called the Lights On program, now in its 4th year, and it's open to everyone. Nadia Camacho graduated in 2008.
If it was around back then, I think that we wouldn't have lost so many of my classmates. Like if we have a class reunion now, a lot of my classmates wouldn't be there.
I haven't lost any more kids to gun violence since we started doing the school year.
Principal Akbar Cook says you can't ignore the results. If you remember him, that's because last summer, Eyewitness News told you about a free laundry room he installed in school. Students bullied because of dirty clothes, resulting in chronic absenteeism. Principal Cook says there's been a 10% increase in daily attendance since.
I was finding out just from being a principal that the kids don't eat during the weekends.
They also serve hot meals to kids on Friday nights. During the summer, they do this 3 nights a week. It's all made possible by donations from the community and alumni. It's kind of amazing what a school can become when people care about kids who just want a chance.